If you're thinking of retiring, where to? Well, most people, of course, stay exactly where they've lived all their lives, but others perhaps dream of something a little different, particularly those who've grown up in chilly climes and dream of the sun. Now, Portugal is implementing proactive policies to try to attract retired people from across Europe. Now, the policies mean that EU retirees who spend over half their year there can be free of income tax for 10 years. As Adeline Percept and Sarah Morris report, of course, the climate and culture also playing a key role.
Albufeira, southern Portugal. Colourful buildings, sun, 20 degrees in the middle of November, and palm trees. It's a bit like Miami Beach, and indeed Portugal is dreaming of becoming the Florida of Europe. At the driving wheel is estate agent Tracy. She's showing Jacques and his wife round some of the villas. They're pensioners from France.
We've been in southern Portugal for just over 8 days now. We're looking to invest in the area so we can come back and stay for several months a year.
Because they find when they stop working, the pace of life here is very nice, it's very gentle, it's a good place to come and spend your last years, I think.
In this part of Portugal, property has been badly hit by the crisis. At Albufeira, dozens of new apartments are empty. Many others were left half completed. Those working in the sector say prices have fallen 30% since 2008. Buying a summer home is out of the question for most Portuguese, but this 200 square metre flat with a pool could be a bargain for this French couple.
This house at the moment is €325,000.
And of course there's room to haggle.
This would cost about €390,000 in France. And I think in the end we'll be able to buy something for €100,000 less in Portugal.
The negotiations begin. Jack has fallen in love with a villa he saw this morning.
We were really taken by it. All offers are considered now, right?
Yes, that's right.
You mentioned earlier that there might be a 25% discount.
I said maybe even 50.
50. I'm making a note of that.
And the knockdown prices on the apartments aren't the only attraction. Jack will also save several thousands of euros on his taxes by settling in Portugal.
We're being taxed so much in France now that we've got no desire to live there.
Since the start of this year, the Portuguese taxman has offered retired foreigners who worked in the private sector tax exemptions, provided they live in the country for more than 6 months a year.
And I think it's a very attractive way for Portugal to make money instead of keep taxing people. So instead of putting more taxes on, they're giving incentives to improve the economy. So I think it's an excellent idea.
In Lisbon, tax lawyers say they're seeing a large inflow of pensioners from France.
We've got at least 100 French customers at the moment.
Many other indebted European governments have hiked taxes on ordinary households this year. That's just one of the reasons for the popularity of Portugal.
We say that Portugal is a good country to live and die in. When you're alive, there's a great tax system, and when you die, there's no inheritance tax.
The Portuguese government is doing all it can to attract wealthy foreign buyers. Jack finds prices here particularly cheap.
A tuna salad for €5.50. You don't find that in France, that's for sure.
Portugal, still under the supervision of the Troika, has only just emerged from a biting recession. Consumer spending was down 6% in September.
Sarah Morris there reporting from Portugal for Focus. Time for sport now, starting off with the battle to qualify for the World Cup.
France are preparing for their crucial World Cup qualifying playoff with Ukraine in Kiev this Friday. It's not the first time Les Bleus have played in such high-stakes playoffs. 4 years ago, the French knocked out Ireland after Thierry Henry's infamous handball at the Stade de France. France's star man this time round, Franck Ribéry, is playing down the idea that France are favourites against the Ukrainians. These upcoming 2 matches will give us the ticket to the World Cup and moreover one for a World Cup in Brazil. We have 2 tough matches, and it would be a very bad idea to look down on this team and say to ourselves that we've already booked our place on the plane to Brazil. We have to go to Ukraine with hunger. We must play to get a win there. We can't think of the second leg and just play the waiting game. On the contrary, we want to go there and win. Ukraine coach Mikhailo Fomenko has only one player who plays outside the Ukrainian league in his 25-man squad, and whilst Ribéry still rates the opposition, he believes he can dominate the game. I think that Ukraine have a good team from a defensive point of view. They conceded few goals in the group stage. They played 2 good games against England. Finished only 1 point behind them in the group phase. So it'll be a tough game, and we mustn't be scared, though. Once I walk out on the pitch, I have no fear. I'm going to play the way I like to play. I will take the ball and try to go forward, be incisive. Ukraine leave a lot of space out on the wings as well. We will have to digest all of this and analyse just how to be dangerous against them. Bayern Munich winger Ribéry is a big contender for the FIFA Player of the Year award and will be France's main weapon, having been directly involved in 8 of France's last 13 goals. The intercontinental playoff matches for next year's World Cup start on Wednesday as Jordan entertain 2-time former World Cup winners Uruguay in Amman. Jordan are massive underdogs, but during Asian qualification were unbeaten at home with notable wins against Australia and Japan. And coach Hossein Hassan wants his side to seize their latest opportunity to go to Brazil. This game will not be easy, whether or not it's held here or in Uruguay. We will prepare well, and we have the capability to defend our luck and defend the integrity of Jordanian and Arab football. It is about time for the Jordanian team to fight for a chance to reach a World Cup for the first time. And this is our right. As I've said, the whole world is expecting Uruguay to win. But expectations are one thing, and reality is another. 4th at the last World Cup in South Africa, Uruguay finished behind Argentina, Colombia, Chile and Ecuador in South American qualifying. The playoff second leg takes place in Montevideo next Wednesday. With the World Anti-Doping Agency meeting in South Africa this week, WADA boss John Fahey has dismissed attempts by disgraced former cycling champion Lance Armstrong to have his lifetime doping ban overturned. Speaking at a World Anti-Doping Agency conference in Johannesburg, the Australian added that he felt the issue regarding the American, who was stripped of his record 7 Tour de France titles, had already been done and dusted.
The only one that can reopen, and there'd have to be a damn good reason, the case that of Lance Armstrong is USADA. We can't. No one else can. You see, I can't. If he wants to have his sanctions looked at, that's a matter for USADA, and there'd have to be an extraordinarily powerful reason, as I would see it. And to my knowledge, I didn't see his recent comments, but to my knowledge, there's been no move to say, I want to give substantial assistance on the understanding if I talk to you, you might open the case again and reconsider the life ban.
Fahey is due to be replaced as WADA chief at the end of the 3-day conference by IOC Vice President Craig Reedy, but is looking to leave a legacy behind him of tougher penalties for doping cheats. Rugby Union and Welsh and British Lions international centre Jonathan Davies has signed a 2-year deal with French club Clermont Auvergne. The 25-year-old captain of Welsh side Scarlets will join the top 14 Giants at the end of the season. Davies joins a growing exodus of Wales internationals to France.
Latest rugby there, ending the sport here on France 24. That's all from me for this hour of Live from Paris. Of course, we'll be back with another edition in an hour's time. Shona will be here with the next hour, though. She'll be talking to Oxfam in the Philippines, in fact, as the organisation tries to reach those who need aid the most. That's with Shona in the next hour, so don't go away.